So far, it's been pretty good. I've been here for a week and some, and the vibe is really good. I'm loving the energy, and of course, the fans and stuff in Trinidad are always very demonstrative, which is people really show how they feel. They really show their love and they show their appreciation. And as an artist, that's something that you really enjoy because, you kind of need to get that feedback from people. And I find that Trinidadians are very much like that. They will come up to you and, they will come, oh gosh, I just want to hug you. I love you so much. And my husband love you. And my boyfriend and my child. And, everybody, the whole family. My tanty, oh God, my tanty love you. So it's always, I really love that kind of positive energy and just very happy. And, that's something that I love. One of the things that I love Trinidad for. That was it was amazing. First thing, just to have the opportunity to be able to sing the U.S. national anthem. It actually started since last year, late in the year. I was contacted by Petra Roach, who is one of the head people from the BTMI, which is our tourism association, and she's actually New York based. And she got in contact with me. She said, Alison, the Brooklynettes, cheerleaders, the dancers, come into Barbados to film a calendar. And but they're also going to be shooting video all around the island because we want to do, they're collaborating with the BTMI and doing a Barbados cultural night at Barclays Center. They hadn't chosen which basketball game at the time, but they said, she said this would be a great opportunity for you to, just raise your your profile, some more. And so what I did was we filmed a little whining class that I, did with the girls. And it was open air, it was at the boatyard. And they filmed it, we did it to Roll It Gal. And we had such a blast. It was so much fun. It was very, very impromptu. And I mean, these are dancers, so these girls know how to move. So we just had an absolute blast just doing that. And that was some of the footage that they were intending on using for the night as some of the footage that would be shown. Because what it is that during the game, there would be various shots that will be shown on the big screens in the center and so on. So I did that, and they said, well, we'll get back in contact with you as to when we've confirmed the date and all of that and if you're available. So that call came like the week before I left, and I got the call from UC, who is from the BTMI. He's one of the people who's also based in New York. And he said they'd chosen the date as the 20th. They'd chosen the game, which was the Brooklyn Nets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that if I was available to come up, and that they'd like for me to open the game by singing the U.S. national anthem. So I'm like, okay, right, no pressure. U.S. national anthem, you can't mess that up. You cannot mess.
After with Whitney and
you understand, Beyonce and Christina Aguilera and Jennifer Hudson and all of these amazing women and performers who have done the U.S. national anthem. And I'm like, okay, right.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So I was available. I said yes. I'm definitely available. Myself and my DJ / road manager, Daryl D-Life Payne, he also came up with me. So I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. And I was also in the process of coming to Trinidad and kind of getting myself settled and doing all of that. I'm like, okay. As the time started to come up, I thought, all right, Alison, you really, you need to focus because you only get one chance at this. And with social media, the way that it is, you do a bad job and that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. You will never live that down. Especially since you're not an American. So I started to really focus, really zero in on it. And for maybe a couple of days before I left, and we flew in the night before. We actually landed in New York the night before the actual game. And so on the plane, I had the lyrics uploaded. Before that, I had done a little background on it in terms of what their anthem is, what it represents, what's the story behind it, because all of that will help you to be able to interpret it better and be able to really give it the feel and the energy and the vibe that it needs. So I did that, and the Wednesday morning when I woke up with the anthem in my head. Like as soon as I was conscious, my eyes hadn't even quite opened, and it was like, it was in my head. I was like, all right, no, please get out for a minute. I can't. This song was haunting me. And the thing is, it's actually not an easy anthem to sing because it starts very low and it ends up very high. So you have to play with the key of it to know that you're not starting. If you start too high, you're gonna end up like screechy. And if you start too low, you're not gonna be able to hit those low notes comfortably and then be able to really sound good when you go high. So I had to play with it and kind of mess with it. After I got to know it, after I really kind of got the lyrics and so on and understood, then it was to play with the melody. And I didn't want to overdo in terms of the singing the melody. I didn't want to stray too far away from the original because it's an anthem, it's a national anthem. And I just wanted to do little things with it, just to play with it a little bit and make it mine. So on the day of, we were picked up and we went to Barclays Center, and I called a friend of ours, Chapman Roberts, who is a Broadway producer, director. He's also a vocal coach and many other things. He's very well respected on Broadway, and he said that he would come and he would give me some pointers, just to little ideas and little tricks to help me to be able to remember the lyrics, to really be able to focus and do what I need to do. So he met us at the hotel and we all went over to Barclays Center because I had a sound check maybe an hour and a half or so before I was to go out and do the anthem. And when I was walking out to do the sound check, I was actually more nervous then than when I actually came back out to do the anthem properly, because I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure. I performed at Barclays Center before, but it's a different feeling to be on a stage and doing what I know and accustomed to doing and feeling than to be this one song. It's an important song. It's a national anthem. It's one shot. You gotta be as close to perfect as you possibly can, and this is it. You gotta nail it. So I came out for the sound check, myself, Chapman, Daryl, and both teams were practicing, stretching, doing all kinds of stuff. Like there was all kinds of activity. Everybody's doing their own thing, into their own thing. The dancers were kind of just going over their last minute moves and things like that. And they placed the microphone and they wanted to time it to see, how long it would take for me to do it. They said usually it's about a minute 35 it takes to do it. So I actually at that time got the lyrics on my phone because the guy was gonna time it and I didn't want to mess it up and then have to start over kind of thing. So I had the lyrics there on my phone and I sang it then. And I think that first time kind of helped me to get rid of some of the jitters. And then when we went back into the dressing room, then Chapman sat with me and he started to give me some pointers and give me a little history and different things to kind of get me where I needed to be. I even recited it, like instead of singing it, reciting it like a poem, so that you can really like hear yourself and listen to the lyrics and understand the storyline. And after we had done that, then Chapman said, okay, you ready to go? I'm gone. I headed home. So Chapman was gone. He was gone. He was like,
Oh my God.
I'm out. You know, he was like, you can do this. Just, I've given you the tools. Just go and do it. So I got myself ready and had more than enough time, you know, and I didn't want to be kind of scrambling and rushing. And so I sat. I was already dressed. And the young lady came and said, okay, it's time to go. I was like, all right, Alison, this is it. This is game time, for real. And when I came back out and I stood at courtside, and the teams came out, and the military was standing like across from me, so they were directly in front of me, but they were facing out to the audience, and everybody was in place. They were making all the announcements and stuff. I'm like, all right, Alison, this is it. Do or die. And it made the announcement and announced me to do the anthem. And I walked down the black carpet to the microphone, settled myself, and I started to sing. And I could feel, you know, there was absolute silence in the in the stadium. It was completely quiet, and it was just my voice. And when I heard my voice coming through that mic, coming through those speakers, I was like, damn, your voice sound good. It was like, it was so pure and so clear. And I was like, all right, Alison, yeah, we're doing this. And the audience started to respond after I'd probably just reached the halfway point. I heard some cheers and some whistles and stuff starting to come through. I was like, all right, Alison, we're coming into the home stretch now. And when I got to "And the land of the free," and everybody was like, woo, and screaming, and you know, "and the home of the brave," and they were cheering, and I was like, yeah. Actually, at the end of it, what I really wanted to do was, yes! That's what I wanted to do at the very end. And it was elation. It was absolute elation for me. And I walked across, and as we were heading, we were on the court side, and we were heading back to the dressing room, people along the side, they were like, fantastic job. And I was getting high fives, and I was getting, you know, and to have Americans really appreciate the rendition of somebody who is not from their country, and to really give that, because for the rest of the night, that's what it was everywhere I went. Like, my head should not be able to fit in any building right now. My ego should be like, you know, huge at this point, because everywhere I went, you know, little kids were like high-fiving me. They were like, you were great. You know, it was amazing. It was amazing. Old people, young people, it didn't matter. Everyone was just like, it was great. The dancers said to me, because I mean, they're there for obviously all the Nets games, and they said to me, they were like, that was one of the best renditions that we have heard here in a long time. So I was like, wow, that is huge.
That's OMG.
Yes, that's OMG. But the other thing though was the video, which was the video that Daryl filmed, because he was on courtside, so he was right across from me to be able to get, you know, the best angle, apart from the TV station, of course. And we uploaded that video, and it just went crazy, viral one time. I was not expecting that. I didn't know what to expect.
Just the fact that Alison Hinds sings the America.
Right.
Yeah, you just had to.
Yes, it
and
went.
when you heard, hey,
Yeah. Yeah. It went crazy. It went, and it's still going crazy. It went nuts. Absolutely. I was like, wow. Like, it went everywhere. Like, Facebook was on fire. Absolutely on fire. It was on Twitter. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff. Yeah. It was only last year that I actually came back into Trinidad Carnival. I wanted to do some other stuff, and I felt like I needed to take a break. I needed to kind of just kind of step back for a little bit. And I get real buff. I get buff. It was like, don't ever do that to us again. Do not leave us. Don't do it. I was like, okay, all right. It's something that I don't ever take for granted, and I don't I don't try to get used to it. I don't assume that that's gonna be the response every time. And it does happen a lot. It does happen a lot. What my PA Jennifer likes to call the Alison Hinds effect. Absolutely. And many people, a lot of women come up to me and they're like, you don't know me, but I'm just a fan and I love your music and just keep on doing what you're doing. And I that makes what I do absolutely worth it, because sometimes you can get jaded in this business, and you can get you can feel discouraged sometimes, and you can feel frustrated and all of that other stuff. But when a fan or fans comes to you and says something like that, it helps you to decide, all right, your resolve is back. I have to keep doing it. I have to keep going. I have to keep doing this. This is something that, and I love what I do. I love making music. I love entertaining people. I love making people happy. Is one of the best jobs in the world. I truly love what I do. So getting that feedback and getting that energy from people helps to really just keep motivating me. It keeps me, kids especially, when little kids get excited. I was in a shoe shop today, and little girl didn't realize that it was me. And her mom said to her, "You know who that is? That's Alison Hinds." She went, and she stopped. She completely stopped. She was like, and she couldn't talk. She couldn't do anything else after that. She couldn't believe it. And we took pictures and everything, and she was just so excited. That makes what I do well worth it. Stage-wise, there were things that I was afraid of, but they've happened already. So if they happen again, it don't matter. I've forgotten words. I've dropped a microphone. I've fallen off a stage a couple of times. Like, these are the things that you get. It's like, oh God, I don't want to fall off the stage. And then when it happens, it's like, okay, it happened. I fell off the stage. I got back on. Hey, I'm good. It wasn't like an extremely high stage, so I was alright. I forgot lyrics before. What am I afraid of? I hate spiders. Like, I hate spiders. Hate spiders. And centipedes. Centipedes is like the bane of my existence. I hate. And I was stung by a centipede, and it was horrible. It was the most painful thing. It was worse than childbirth. It was horrible. I got stung right here on my thumb, and I felt like I wanted to die. I scream, I cry, I bawl. What? It was horrible. It was horrible. I went to the emergency. I was crying, and the pain, it wouldn't stop. Like, it's not like a pain that you get like a bee sting. I got stung by a bee too. It was not like getting stung by a bee and you just get the sting and then that's it. It's like it just keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. It's like, oh my God, this is horrible. But yeah, centipedes and spiders. Spiders are like, no, I hate spiders. I hate them. I know there are people that love them. I hate them. Hate them. It all depends. When it comes to my career, most things are planned. But things can happen that then kind of take you in a different direction. There's always room for that. You know, you can't kind of just keep yourself so, so rigid that you don't allow for something to happen organically. Like with the same anthem, with the video and stuff like that, that just happened organically. We didn't plan any that, we knew that we were going to do the anthem, but everything else that happened afterwards, that was organic. I was absolutely just based on what I did. And so, there's always, but you do have to, you do have to set a course, and you have to have a plan and a design so that, yes, and be able to, but still be able to improvise if needs be, and allow for that, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what direction that's going to take you, what positivity is going to come out of that as well. My hopes for the future is that I can keep on being an entertainer, but in different look for different other avenues. Like I love Broadway. I've seen quite a few Broadway shows, and I want to be able to touch that stage and be able to act and sing and be a part of that world. And I want to do more acting. I want to do, a couple of, could be a movie, could be a sitcom, it could be anything along those kind of lines, but to be able to stretch in that direction as well. I have more touring to do, but I want to also develop a Alison Hinds in concert set. I did a couple last year, and they were fantastic. I did one specifically in Miramar in Florida, and it was at the Miramar Cultural Center, and it was just me, Alison Hinds in concert, full band, backgrounds, actually Roger George, Trini Jacobs, and I had a young lady called Magic from the Bahamas, and they were my background vocalists, and Roger was featured in the set. We did a couple of songs together that were fantastically amazing because he is so amazingly talented. I did an unplugged set, so I got to, what I love about doing concerts is that there's no rush, you get to really sit down in the music, you get to interact with the audience gets to know you, you get to know them, and like people were like shouting out stuff from the audience, we were cracking jokes on the stage, and Daryl was in his element. He was in his element. He's so quick, and he's so witty, and it's clean, it's not, it's nothing that is lowbrow, it's nothing that is smutty or anything like that. It is clever, and he's witty. So when somebody in the audience says something, he is quick with a comeback, and the crowd is like rolling on the ground. And it's like that, all of that happened all during the concert. And then he and we have our little banter as well. And, and then, everything just worked. It just, people loved it. They really, really loved it. And I want to do more shows like that, where it's just Alison Hinds and just, me presenting, and not necessarily my music, yes, but, doing a couple of covers and touching some other stuff, and just, being able to do other things. Politics, wow. Not really, I don't know if I would actually really go into politics as such. I wouldn't mind having a post, maybe like an ambassador post, or something along those kind of lines, where it is to do with the further promotion of Barbados and that kind of thing. That kind of thing I would be interested in. But in terms of politics, I don't know if I would want to kind of get into it, that deeply kind of thing. But as I said, if it were ambassadorial post type thing, that would be something that would be attractive to me. That would be something that I would definitely love to do. Anybody that wants to find me online, you just input my name, Alison Hinds, ALISONHINDS, and you can find me on Instagram, on Periscope, on Twitter, on Facebook, my website, all of that. Everything is under my name. So I try to make it as easy as possible for my fans, new fans, to be able to find me. You can also look out for my latest video, Parade, which is on YouTube. It's on my website, you can just kind of go and view that and enjoy it and share it, and anytime find it when you follow me online. That's the best way for you to find out where I am, where next I'm gonna be, what I'm doing, what projects are coming up, all of that kind of stuff. Everything Alison. All right, well, thank you so much, OMG, for having me once again. It's an absolute pleasure to be here as always. And I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you so much for everything. All right, mwah, 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 mwah.